There we go. Oh, it's fizzy. Very fizzy. This is how the Diet Coke gets into the glass. Usually I don't show this step because it's very complicated. First there's the glass, and then there's ice. Okay. It's important that you put the ice in before the Diet. I don't know why that's true, but actually, because, you're throwing ice bombs into Diet Coke. It's going all over the place. Cheers. Welcome to today's Sunday stream. One of my favorite days to stream. Because it's for me, this is a relaxing thing to do. Fly around a little bit in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Play marbles on another stream while I'm doing it. Co-streaming to YouTube like a technical titan. Well, that's good. First Diet Coke of the day, and also pretty much the last. I like to stick to one Diet Coke per day, but the first Diet Coke always hits hardest. It's a stupid thing to say. Hi, so how you doing? So today, by the way, I've loaded up Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Yep, that old ancient game we've been playing for years now. Actually, I've been playing it for like 4 years. I'm going to keep playing it. You can still buy stuff. You can still go to the store here. You can't go to the store in the new game. It's not even open yet. But they're still like coming up with new releases for the 2020 game, which seems a little weird to me. Because there's a new program, but there's like a new plane here, which actually looks pretty cool. I know 2020 does seem like the distant past. That was pre-COVID, pretty much. You know what I mean? It was literally just before COVID that this game really started. I started hitting, but that's one of the things about it. Realistic tree height, $3. I don't know. But basically, I'm coming back to 2020 because, as if you realized yesterday, I've been enjoying 2024. It's really good looking stuff. There's some fun new airplanes. There's some new functionality of the planes that I enjoy. We got the hot air balloon. I kind of thought it was kind of fun. And so we'll do that again. But I just want to wait and let them fix some more bugs. Like, for example, trees going out of buildings and trees growing out of boats and things like that. Like huge trees. Okay. And yesterday, I don't know if you saw near the end of the flight segment, I was looking at it on YouTube today. On my VOD, we were parked next to in this big Airbus turboprop, and we were parked next to these two other planes that were smashed into that were like intersecting each other, which was already kind of a bug, And I'm like, oh, look at that! There's two planes intersecting each other at the airport. We were parked at the airport, and then one of the planes, the one that wasn't parked correctly, started spinning around like it was possessed. And I'm like, well, this is cool, but it's also clearly something that they need to fix, they need to address these issues. I don't think the fact that the plane was haunted by a demon and caused it to spin around and intersect with other planes, it was funny. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that. They're going for realism, and that kind of breaks the realism when there's bugs like that. So that's why we're going back to 2020, and we'll be going back to 2020 a lot. The other basic reason is, hey, there's planes I like to fly in 2020 that I, again, have tried to fly in 2024 and are supposed to be like if I go here, okay, this is this is one of my favorite planes, the Capra. Okay, if I go here, go into my content manager. I just want to see if I read this right. We look down. Let's just search for it because I got too much stuff. It says fine, up to date. If I click on information, version 1.8.5 released November 25th, which is like 3 weeks ago. MSFS 24 compatibility. So it's supposed to have been compatible. So I've tried it multiple times in 2024, and it just won't. The engines won't run. The engines won't run reliably. So just because it says, I don't want to delete it though. Just because it says it's 2024 compatible, it doesn't mean it's 2024 compatible. Anyway, that's a plane I like to fly, and so if we want to fly it, we have one choice, which is to go back to 2020. That's fine. Now, where are we going to fly it? I'm always looking for good weather. Was suggested that we haven't done the winter time flights over Tibet. Where is it? Anyway, isn't it like? Is it here? What's that? Tomb of Cyrus. What's that? Persian Gulf complex. Some of this stuff looks kind of interesting. Let's take off from here. We'll make it a day trip, but I want to check these points of interest out. Persian Gulf complex, which I assume is oil, And then northeast, it's not that far, to the Tomb of Cyrus. We'll make it daytime. We're going to cold start my plane here. We don't fly over, I guess this is Saudi Arabia? No, it's Dagestan, I believe. One of those stands. It's definitely not Middle East. Okay, let's I hope we can do it. Shiraz is Iraq, actually? Where is Shiraz? Can you look up where Shiraz is? Shraz. Now that I think about it, I'm thinking it's northern Iraq. But I could be wrong. All right, we're going to cold start again. This is one of my favorite planes. We've tried to fly it multiple times. I want to confirm effectively that it's Iran, northern Iran. Thank you, not Iraq. I get those mixed up. But at least I don't say Iran because they wanted us to say it that way. Ronald Reagan wanted us to say it that way in the 80s. It didn't. Nobody called it Iran before Ronald Reagan. It's Iran. And for some reason, I would guess I learned it before Ronald Reagan came into power because I actually say Iran and Iraq. So few people do. And in fact, I saw a guy talking on a YouTube video. He was living in, I think, Sweden as an immigrant, and they were interviewing about the immigrant experience. He was from Iran, and he said, well, they asked him where he's from. He says, he's in a kind of an accent, I'm from Iran. In other words, he used the common term. He knew how to pronounce his own country's name, but he pronounced it Iran Hebrew just because he wanted people to know where he was from, and that's how everyone pronounces it. So, like, a guy from Iran actually calls his own country Iran when he speaks English. And I was like, what a world! What a strange world we live in. All right, let's go here. Anyway, that's where we are, northern Iran. In our beautiful Cabrera, we're gonna head for this Persian, which is like northwest, and then head east, make a turn, see if we can find these points of interest. But first, I just want to confirm that this plane even runs, because it sure doesn't under, maybe they broke it on all systems. Let's just figure out. We gotta turn the lights on. We're gonna find our master. Where's the master? Master's down here. Master battery. Okay. Open these two and open the fuel valves. Now they're both open, so we can shut those. Turn the engine masters on and the boost pumps on. 12. Oh, it's a shopping mall. Nice. Thank you for that ultimate. Hey, we probably would have figured that out. I thought it was maybe, it was maybe an oil refinery, but that makes more sense. Thank you. We would have figured it out. Okay, so you turn the volume on. This also turns the power switch on. You got 4 radios. That's a nice number of radios. Altitude alerter, DME. Now, everything seems to be coming on, but I was able to get this far in 2020. It's only when I attempted to, what's this? This is, I don't think I need to do that because we're started up, right? We got our engines are started. All right. We'll see how that goes. All right, so we're going to adjust the trim. What else? Oh, yeah, there's a couple other things I need to get going here. And one thing I can tell right away is my flaps don't seem to be working. Interesting. Something is adjusting my flaps for me. I'm going to have to figure that one out. Hold on a second here. Let's see, we got that there. That's all good. Engine starter. Is the parking brake on or off? It's on. Altitude indicator power. Yeah, we have a problem with my controls here. Which is, where's flaps? There's like a flap thingy here. So that worked. Oh, now it's working. Interesting. I wonder if you have to come up to a certain amount of power. Okay, flaps are working. All right, let's call out. I mean, this is the old game. I'm not expecting new bugs. But it did have bugs. All right, we're going to be heading kind of northwest, I guess, to check out this. I've never seen these. I've never taken off from here before. It's always a good time. We did adjust the time of day, but not the weather. I'm going to make sure this is live weather, but I'm not surprised if it's just if it would have been a clear afternoon. Okay. Now I'll check the clearance. I want to check to make sure we have live weather turned on, because I like it. Live weather. Live weather is on. Real time is not on. We're modeling it as if it were 3:42 p.m. Okay, so parking brake on, parking brake off, power to the engines. See if we start moving. We do start moving. We have steering. Well, we don't need that much moving. Heading out to the end of the runway. I like flying this plane so much. But anyway, the problem, I did this on 2024. Had no problem starting the engines. No problem taxing. No problem working any of the controls. It was only when I went to full power that these lights started flashing to on and off down here. And it wouldn't give me more than 67% power, which is not enough to take off. Which is a very strange behavior. But I think that's a 2020 only issue. But we'll find out in a second, or 2024 only. Because last time I checked, this plane works fine in 2020, which is what we're in right now. So I expect it to work, and we'll have a nice little sightseeing tour. Where is the runway? Did it really route us all the way around here like this? That's crazy. Where is the runway? Oh yeah, this is like a 12,000 foot runway. This is an extra long runway for like Airbus 330s or whatever, 380s. Yeah, I mean, this runway goes from here to eternity. I mean, it's the desert. We don't necessarily have to run the whole one because we don't need much of it. A 12,000 foot runway, as far as I know, is longer than like Los Angeles. I think Los Angeles is 10,000 or 9,000 or something. But yeah, certain planes that are cargo planes that are carrying heavy loads, in some cases, can need more runway than that. But not even normal passenger planes would never need that much runway. But it's probably, they have the space, so they just made a really long runway. But 12,000 is extremely long. I think the longest runway in the world is less than 18,000 or like 15,000. I once went on YouTube or somewhere. It was like a top 10 most longest runways in the world. Moderately interesting content right there. If you really wanted to know. But yeah, the bigger, heavier the plane is, the longer the runway it's going to need, and mainly for landing. All right, here we go. We taxi down to this longest runway. Looks like there's a plane. Is there an AN? Is there an AN down there? An Antonov? I gotta check this out. Because that's a static plane. I think it's not a. I mean, it's an asset that's part of the airport, not a random plane. I just want to check it out. No, it's just kind of hanging out here. All right. I don't know what you're doing out here, but hello. And yeah, the liveries you'll see on 2020 are limited compared to 2024, but that's kind of cool how it's kind of sitting out here. All right. Anyway, we're heading towards our takeoff. We're going to try to find this shopping complex and a tomb, though. Okay, runway 11R coming up here. Reduce power. Hit the brakes. We got a nice comfy seat for you guys to check this, whatever we're doing out here. Okay, we're ready to tune the tower here. Request takeoff.
Tower KNSH 9er ready for departure to the north at runway 11 right.
Hopefully the runway's clear. I don't see anyone coming in. Beautiful day. There we are. Alrighty then, we acknowledge our clearance.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 11
Clearance.
right, 9er.
I was just watching a video. I would say clearance. I was just watching a video on YouTube yesterday. 20 facts you didn't know about the movie Airplane. And I would say about 15 of them I honestly didn't know, but quite a few I did. Alright, full power. And we're going to see, now see those lights down there, how they're steady for the engine down there in the lower right of the console? They're like flashing like on off. And I couldn't get more than, the lever wasn't giving me my 104% power. Which is really what you need for takeoff. I mean, you don't keep it on for a long period of time, but with this amount of power, not a problem to get off the ground. Do a little flying. Okay, gear comes up. I love the way the gear comes up. It's a beautiful livery, too. And we'll use our flaps to nothing. And then once the engines get going, that's when they really start generating some power. So we'll start backing down on the throttle there already. Okay, so this is this area of northern Iran. Well, we're actually going to go in this way, I think. Hopefully the little dot will appear. I remember it was northwest of the city, right? We'll figure it out. It's not like super. This is kind of like you know, third world level residential architecture, very cookie cutter, a million of these apartment complex buildings built by the state and you know, probably inexpensive to live in, which is common in many countries, not so common in America. Yeah, yeah, Airplane with Leslie Nielsen by the Zucker brothers, and but yeah, there was like it was like 20 things. It was like about. I've seen it a million times. Okay, so we're gonna trim up to 0. Set our trim to 0. I think it's up that direction. It should be marked once we get closer. But in the meantime, observe the very kind of somewhat depressing layout of this northern, pretty famous city. Now, Shiraz is also known as a grape, a variety, or a wine variety. Oh, sorry, I did copy. Sorry, I was ignoring you and talking to my legions of fans. But see, you know, I just love flying this plane. It has a very intimate feeling. The other good thing about it is it being a jet, it's fast. And it's fun to land. I mean, you just need to know, you just need to recognize that there's a lever down here that says air brake. Here, that one, speed brakes, actually. You got to have the speed brakes out to land. So, I'm not seeing a marker. Since this is on the map, I mean, there's a marker up there, but it shouldn't be that far away. Oh, wait, now I see it, dead ahead. Okay. Like, I guess you have to get a little closer. Because I was like, just like, where's our marker? We should be finding the first marker. We found the first marker. All right, I want to stay, okay, slower, even slower on the jets here. Cool your jets, as I like to say. Yeah, it's one of, I mean, it's one of my favorite go-to. I mean, I remember seeing it in the theaters. So I was pretty young. I think it was with my mom, too. Well, yeah, it was a classic parody film. It was funny. They were talking about how, you know, they had gotten the rights to this, you know, this close up look. They had gotten the rights to this movie that was a serious movie about a plane, a terrible situation. That was this exact same plot of Airplane, except it was a serious movie. It was called, I can't remember what it's called, but you can look it up. But they had licensed. They saw it late at night. They thought they could make a parody of it. Of course, they were also thinking of the airport movies that had just started coming out. There was like 2 airport movies out. They eventually did 5. And the airport movies were airport disaster films about planes in distress and terrorist attacks and things like that at the airport. And the people who made Airport weren't that happy about being parodied, so they didn't want people who were actually in the cast of Airport to appear in Airplane. For example, hi Rory, how you doing? I see you're probably on YouTube too. It's getting late in South Africa. At least it's probably nice and warm there. We're checking out, this is northern Iran. And if you call it Iran in my stream, you're booted. That's the town of Shiraz down there. Well, I wanted to check out something on the map called Persian Gulf. Yeah, it's not that late. But hey, it's noon here, so you know what I mean. It's early for me. Cheers, by the way. Diet Coke. I'm having a little Diet Coke on you. What is our speed? I have a feeling we're going excessively fast. Oh, we are. I could put out the speed brakes, but even better, we're just going to stop time and check it out. Okay, Persian Gulf Complex. It's a shopping mall, but man, this does not look like the same kind of shopping mall you might see. Oh, we'll check out the front door here. All right, everyone jump out of your parachutes. It's going to make funny noises. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, you're going to need that. You're going to love that wireless. I have a I have a PS5 controller. So that's a kind of a classic Arabic design there, I think. That pedal design. So I assume that's the front. Yeah, don't worry about those weird noises. But I also like these are kind of like, these are probably related to interior features. I don't think we get to see inside, right? Yeah, we can't get inside. So it's pretty modern. Oh, okay, you can sit inside, but there's nothing in there. Which is good, because, you know, hey, this is a flight simulator game. Where's our plane? And also, there's a bug in 2024 that really bugs me, which is where you get far enough from your plane and it disappears. It LODs out. Just want to point out that no matter how far away you get from the plane in this mode in 2020, you can always see it. Okay. See, as soon as we start that movie again, that weird sound effect, I don't know where that's from. Okay, so northeast, there's another dot up there. Anyway, this is the setting for this mall, one of the largest malls in Iran. Okay, but it's not that big, you know. I think the drone will be cool for sure. But yeah, having a controller is a game changer for playing Microsoft Flight Sim. You know, I used the controller, and I played with just the controller for a long time, years. I only recently got this throttle quadrant, which is also great. What's our speed? Oh yeah. So I'm controlling the throttle using my throttle quadrant, which you can't see, but basically it's like it's got these three, you know, throttle thingies on it, and I can address, you know, make them go to different things. But this one only uses one, which is the main throttle. The other two don't do anything. But it also has switches for flaps and gear down and things like that, and it definitely increases the immersion. But having a wireless controller is not just a luxury though for flight sim. It's the way to go. All right, basically we're going out here to check out a tomb, and I don't think we've raided a tomb before in this particular game. So get ready for some tomb raiding. You know what I mean? I didn't know how many. It's got to be this out here, right? Because that's the right place for it, right? And that's a little airport. All right, let's get some speed going here. We're gonna have all day, although we do have some time. But this is the terrain over northern Iran, and it is quite something. I mean, it's quite interesting. It's different. It doesn't look like California to me. A little bit, but not much. Okay, now we're getting some speed. By the way, what is our engine condition here? 91%, blah, 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 blah. Everything's in the green. We're good. All right, we're fine. Oh, and we're also deceptively high up. It's 7,700 feet. Well, you know, I end up using both. I mean, I got my keyboard right in front of me. There's certain things that I want to do. Like, for example, I don't have a key to open up the comm panel, which is that. But I don't want to have to go up to the menu every time, so I have it on scroll lock. So I'm reaching to my keyboard every now and then, or like when I want to hit the pause, that's the pause button. So there's a lot of stuff I do on my keyboard. So I'm saying, yeah, the best control, or in mouse. So I'll be in here, and I'll use my mouse to look. Well, and here's something that the controller buttons are the same, although you can remap them. There's times in which I'm using the mouse to turn things on. Oh, I don't need my piezo tube here. I can turn off. So there's times when I'm operating the controls using the mouse. So it's all three things: mouse, keyboard, and controller. But the controller is the key thing because I got my left finger on the stick, so I'm flying the plane with my left finger, and I got my right finger on a view, so I'm changing my view with the right finger, so I can fly. Eventually, you can figure out how to fly and move the view at the same time. But things like, oh, I want to zoom in. Well, that's the mouse wheel, so I got to go to the mouse to do that. Oh, I want to zoom out. I can reset my thing. You know, oh, that's not it. Okay, we're screwed. There's Zargan. Where is this thing, then? I think we must have missed it. Dang. Okay, yeah, that's not what I was thinking. It was definitely northeast. I wonder if it's nearby that thing. We might have to miss this point of interest due to poor navigation skills. Because I thought it was this, and now that icon indicates it's an airport. And it's not. It does not show up on these maps here, from what I can tell. By which I mean points of interest. Here's where we took off from, right? We went up here. And that's that airport. So yeah, it would have been around. The other thing is, could have been hidden by a ridge. Sometimes those things are kind of hidden. But no, I think we just missed it. Still, really cool terrain. I'm enjoying it. Oops, engine sound again. And it's just really interesting stuff on the ground too. Yeah, you got a lot of farming. It is possible, but I'm not gonna, because trust me, I looked it up on YouTube, and they're much better. You know what I mean? It'd be a waste of time for me to do what what other people do. I would absolutely look up how to set up the controller, but the thing to do is just to practice. You know, once you have it, it's just to practice with it. Like the basic things that I do are going to be kind of intuitive and obvious in terms of controlling the plane, and certain things like okay, flaps are mapped to certain buttons. And the rudder is mapped to the left and right things. I mean, the left and right. So I love this little thing here. I mean, this little, what do you call that? A mesa? I don't know. Okay, oops. The other thing, you got to monitor your jet engines. They really start moving. But this is definitely a high up high plane. You know, it's very high up. Yeah, I mean, seriously, you do, you know, I went to a lot of YouTube videos to figure out how to set up the controllers. For example, this throttle controller needs a lot of tender loving care to do things like be able to operate the reverse thrusters when you move the thruster all the way down to its low. It's like it has a click position. All right, this is Mansurabad North. I don't see. This is gorgeous though. It is a clear day. This is one of the clearest days you can imagine. I wonder if it's up there somewhere. We could land here, but it's too early. Let's go up here. Let's fly up here a bit. This just looks pretty. Where that kind of white is, that one up there. But I think we missed the opportunity to check out this tomb. It just must have been deceptively far away or close. I have to figure it out. And the other thing is that yeah, I got 2024, and no, they didn't really keep the all the controls the same. I did have to kind of, I'm like, yeah, I want to keep them as close as possible, so I had to remap all the controls in 2024. It wasn't the end of the world, and you don't have to, you know, and I can see why they changed the scheme and didn't keep it necessarily compatible. And by the way, you notice this huge lens flare? This is super dramatic. It's cool, but it's, you know, I really like it, but 2024, it's a much more muted and realistic looking lens flare rather than this crazy one. I don't know, it's fine. But then you notice when you look out the window here, the ball, you just get this ball. That's also fixed in 2024. It looks like you'd expect the sun to look in 2024. So there's a lot of things I like about 2024. But other than that, like the ground looks, from this altitude, the ground looks basically the same. But yeah, I would say don't worry about even, don't worry about it, looking up how to set up the controls. It detects your controller and says, oh, you got a controller. Like it detects that this is an Xmark controller. Microsoft Flight Simulator does. And for example, if you plug a PS5 controller in or a 4, it'll say, oh, you got a PS4 controller. They're the same, basically. But it knows you've got exactly where all the buttons are. Because they basically have a very compatible button count. Now these were both airports here. I'm just having a really vibey time kind of flying around this terrain. And that's literally all we do on this show. But yeah, if you didn't see yesterday's VOD, I recommend you check out the end of the flight simulator segment. I landed, at this airport. We pulled in. I noticed there was two planes intersecting each other. One was kind of in a normal configuration, and the other was really in a weird position. But they were like on top of each other. They were, intersecting. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So we parked near them. I hung around for a while, and then one of them started spinning like it was possessed by the devil, which was fascinating to me. Yeah, I think we're just going back where we came. But I just want to double check that I didn't miss this tomb that I'm looking for. It might have been hiding on the backside of a ridge. The other good thing about this plane is it has a high altitude ceiling. I think it's pressurized. Because it has an oxygen system, I believe. Maybe not. Right? Oxygen pressure. Yeah, it has an oxygen system. Actually, I don't know if that means it's pressurized. It just means it's altitude rated. Normally, I like to go a little bit lower, but you know, for this terrain, I think it's fine. We should get a little lower than this, though. Just my trims, so we don't get too much altitude here. Nose really wants to come up. I want to keep the nose down. There we go. But that's like very, I don't know, irrigation, or is that like they want to build houses there, so they built the roads first, which they do sometimes. Yeah, that's the airport. That's fine. That other airport, that's where we came from. But it couldn't have been this far out. I thought it was right around here. And there's no other markers on the horizon. Interesting. We probably just missed it. Well, that's okay. We don't see all the, and you know, we saw a lot of sights playing. There's also this, like, what's going on down here? It's just a lot of as I mentioned, from what I remember, it's Shiraz is a grape, might be a grape growing region, although this does seem a little dry for grapes. Maybe they do a lot of irrigation. Anyway, this plane is a dream to land, and so we're gonna do it. The other thing I keep bemoaning when I go to 2024, well, like I was in this plane yesterday, and I was like noticing that it has the ability from its EFB, from its electronic flight book, to change the fuel load. Because normally you can in 2020 quite easily. You go to this weight thing, weight and balance, and however many tanks you have, in this case 5, are represented here. You can see dynamically where it's taking fuel from the left tank. It'll take it from both tanks. It kind of goes back and forth. But I can adjust these in flight, so I can reduce or add fuel, which isn't realistic. You can't do that. But it's very useful for planning my trips, because that way I can put a lot more fuel in, and then I can say, oh, well, the plane is too heavy to land with 33% fuel, so I can just go here. And the thing is, it's standard for any plane. I can say, oh, what if I were to have, 22% fuel? Oops. Which makes me lighter, so I'm slowing down the engines here. A little more trim here. Because you want to land in the yellow zone. You basically, when you, in a real plane, when you take a flight, you plan how much fuel you're going to need. And that's quite a bit of calculation. You have extra, of course, you don't want to land with 0 in your tanks. But you start with how much you need, right? What's that there? Right, okay, that's the mall. And the thing I was looking for basically should be down here somewhere. So, I don't know where it is. Sargan, or way back there. Maybe I don't know, it really shouldn't be. Anyway, we're just going to land where we took off from. I'll do another mission. Some kind of short mission. I'm just having a good time vibing in planes in 2020 that I cannot fly in 2024 anyway. So we'll land with a realistic 20% flight load, not... some of those planes that you take off in 2024 have like 100% fuel load, which is both rare and extremely dangerous. You need to know that it's very hard to fly 100% fuel load unless you know what you're doing. Or it takes a lot of extra care. Because your plane is very heavy, and then you certainly don't want to land. Anyway, the good thing about this plane, again, it gets you from point A to point B pretty quickly. Now, I thought maybe it's hiding in here somewhere. This tune thing. There's that thing. That's the mall. It should have been up that direction, actually. Maybe you know what? We could do a... You know what we could do? We could do a slew. Yeah, let's do that. And I'll slew it. Slew is a cheat, effectively. I mean, let's cheat it. So there's the mall, and it should have been northwest, excuse me. Oh, or was it northeast? Northeast. So that direction, but that's an airport. I just want to see if I went past it, would I find something? And again, we're going to use the cheat mode, which is Y. You can go a lot faster. than you could normally. It's either out in here, and again, we should see see markers, but I don't see one. Oh, what's up here? That's an airport. Yeah, it can't be. Interesting. All right. What kind of airport is this? Oh my. 6,000 feet of asphalt. We're landing there. All right, slow things way down though. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that point of interest I was looking for. I must have miscalculated its position. But that does happen some number of times. Alright, we're going to land at Eklid Airport, which I think is still part of northern Iran. And we're going to check out. These are airports I have never taken off and landed from, that's for sure. Now, as I mentioned before, one important thing is this plane is so slick when it flies. You see, even with the engines barely on, we're going downhill, 223 knots. We'll get there quickly, but we can't land at that speed. We can't even put out our landing gear at that speed. And flaps will not slow us down that much, but these air brakes sure will. So we're going to set it to about 50% here. Now what happens, you can see the air brakes there, or the inboard brakes, and when I turn the flaps down here to match them, those are the outboard parts there. But they work in concert to make the wing not so slick. It still provides lift, but a lot less. So now we're only down to 151. And the point is, you want the engines to be working while you're during the landing phase, in case, just to provide control. So you have that power. Again, we got a lot of altitude to lose here. Oh, we're at 6 miles. I'm going to use a little less brakes here, a little less flaps, so we get closer. We're really going to deploy most of our slowdowns at about 2 miles. And we're at 6.19. But this is a very long, or reasonably long runway. It's not 12,000 feet, it's 6,000 feet. It's still, we only need about 3. Although this plane does have, again, the issue of slowing down. Is, you know, you don't have reversers on it, so and the brakes are so-so. All right, a little more on the brakes here. We're going to brakes around there, and flaps to around here. We got ourselves a lineup here. Alright, so a little more. Basically, at this point, you need full 100, what we call 100% speed brakes there. So you can see how dramatically those surfaces on the back of the wings are canted now. Okay, now we can start giving ourselves a little power. Oh, yeah. I suggest we put some gear down. Get my gear switch, which is on my throttle quadrant. It's pretty cool. And that will further keep us from going too fast. But still, our landing speed is preferably right around 100, so we don't bounce around too much. Now we're at 133. Slow down a little bit. That's full flaps and full speed brakes on the back of the wing there. Basically acting like little parachutes. You can see what I mean. Just a little, keeping the wing from letting me go too fast. And if you didn't, if the, you know, the first time I ever tried landing this, I didn't use the speed brakes. I'm like, I don't need those. Yeah, you need a long runway because you're going to land real fast. But I was like, okay, now this plane, all you need to remember is always put the speed brakes out. And 100% speed brakes is probably good. I mean, if you're going too slow, just give it some gas. You know what I mean? But you won't be going too slow. This is a tiny, I mean, it's not even an airport. There's no buildings. Okay, once you've acquired it, we're going to engines to 0. Pull back. back a little bit for a flare. Nice gentle landing. We're a very low aircraft, so keep the brakes on here. There's my brakes. Braking. Brake. Modulate the brakes. Decent landing. I mean, I've landed this plane a million times, which is why I'm really excited about flying it in 2024. Wow, this is, I mean, there's an airstrip, but wow, I mean, nothing. I mean, there's a big piece of concrete, but I mean, is there even a airport building? I guess it's back here. All right, so we're gonna put the give us some power. We're gonna put the our brakes in. I think we'll go cross country here. Brakes. So I should map this to a button. Speed brakes in, flaps up. Canopy open, get some air. It's probably hot out. Get some dust flowing behind us. There you go. Watch the wheels go up and down. And this is what you get for an airport around here. At least there's, I mean, there's one building. There's a parking spot for your planes. There's a little building back there. Your refueling truck. I guess that's all you need. All right, let's do another short mission somewhere where I can try out a plane. Maybe the OV-10 Bronco. No, maybe not. Yeah, why not? Let me do a little screenshot here. With like a canopy open, and it's kind of like in the desert somewhere. That'll have to do. I do use these in my Twitter messages. These little screenshots like all the time. I wonder if I can do someone that's more dramatic. Actually, getting the sun to go through the canopy is always like a fun, like little hack there. And get it to just right. Actually, I'm gonna do this from outside. This will be better. The other thing is there's special controls for what they call this is the drone camera mode, I believe, and it's not great. There we go. I don't know if that's better or not, but better to be safe than sorry. All right, quick mission. I'm gonna pick another airplane. Gonna cold start it, fly around a little bit, land it, because then I'm going to switch over to the piano segment, which today, of course, is holiday music. The holiday music. So just an hour of me not talking, but playing on my piano. Bring my piano in here, do my little Christmas tunes. I'm getting them, you know, I'm still warming them up because, you know, the real performance is not till the 25th. By the way, where was that thing that I'm looking for? Okay, so here's where this was. It was much further up here. Okay. We'll find it next time. All right. We wouldn't have, that was a long way though. I don't know if we would have found that. What's this here? What's this here? Brunico Castle. We're there. Where's the nearest aeropuerto? Here. What direction do we have to go? West. What plane are we going to travel in? Let's see. That's working. I don't think the Islander is available. We got to have something with a reasonably short takeoff and landing here. Something kind of lightweight. Maybe we'll take up this Diamond DA-40. They're easy to cold start. Thus, oh, we can't cold start it here. What is this down here? There's all sorts of things to see. All right, we'll warm start it. We'll just fly. Oh yeah, but 19 p.m. No. How about sometime? I bet the weather's terrible. Let's find out. I mean, how would I know if the weather's bad or not? It is live weather, meaning theoretically, when we go to a spot somewhere in the world, it will, you know, look up what the weather is and reproduce it for us in our little magical world of Microsoft Flight Simulator. But we can always override it and have it a nice scattered cloud day, or, you know, which I sometimes do so I can see the points of interest. There's so many of these castles and stuff that I don't think we've seen. So many. Thousands of points of interest. I feel like I've seen them all, and then I'm like, no, I haven't seen a fraction of them. All right, we're gonna head west on this little strip here. Hopefully, see some things from the air. Oh, it's snowy. Nice. Nice. Okay, let's just check our plane out here. Do we have our this? Yeah, no, that needs to be on. This is what this plane looks like. So snowy. That's fine. What's our is our parking brake on or off? Parking brake is on. That's fine. So do that. Take the parking brake off. Start rolling down this icy looking runway here. It's a dirt runway, but I would call it a snow runway today. Are we even gaining any speed? We are. It's gonna be. What's our altitude? 3,400? We should be able to get off the ground, but. Oof. And then we're gonna head west. Are we getting. Oof. We're not getting a lot of altitude, but let's just hope that it's enough. We can get over these trees here. We gotta make a turn, too. And that is full power. That's where we took off from. You barely even see that it's a runway. All right, we got to make this turn here and not run into this hill over there. That's the problem. We're going to make it like a coordinated tight turn here. Using the rudders here. And then up ahead there in the distance, where you see a shimmering light up there. Well, this is pretty touring. You know, I was thinking we would change it to earlier in the day, but it still might be a terribly cloudy day. But according to this, it is as clear as it can be. And again, I always like to double check, but I'm sure this is live weather. We checked it earlier. And it does say live weather, December 15th. It could be a cold, clear day. Absolutely. It looks like, you know, where it recently snowed. Now, it's doing a pretty good job. 2024 does an even better job, I think, of changing the terrain according to the weather. Like if it's snowy, it's very snow covered. And it's green during other times, other parts of the year. Okay, we're going to adjust our trim now. 0, start bringing the power back a little bit. Now that we're getting some normal flight. Let's see, is that a point of interest over there? Yeah, there's a point of interest there. There's a castle over there and some stuff there, which up there. Well, first we'll check out the castles. It's not going to be far. Okay, I'm watching my airspeed. Like we're going way too slow, but now we're going way too fast. It's a beautiful little alpine village there. We're at 4,600. It's at like over 3,000 feet. So I guarantee you this is a wintry place. You know, maybe there's ski resorts nearby. That's how they make their money. But man, pretty. That's where we took off from back there. It's in that little vale. Gorgeous. And of course, we'll stay nice and low to appreciate the terrain. What's it saying? RPM high. We're fine. All right. Position lights are on. Strobe lights are on. Looking at my engine indicators there. Everything is in the green. Even this plane also, I think, does not work correctly in 2020. Some basic stuff like the fuel management doesn't work. This plane has has 2 tanks, but it only sucks gas from one tank, the right tank. So if or from the left tank. So as over time you turn on the fuel transfer pump and transfer fuel from the right tank to the left tank, to compensate for the fact that the left tank is losing fuel. which you can see here, I think. It shows the left main, both tanks that start off with 7 gallons. The left main tank now has 6.5 gallons. The right main tank still has 7 gallons because it's not drawing from the right tank. In order for me to move, so it's a manual procedure to move fuel over. Anyway, it works fine in 2020. 2024 it does not work. I mean, basic kind of some basic stuff. That switch there doesn't move. Either I think I don't know, moves fuel from the wrong direction or something like that. It's just basically different. Which is a problem because, hey, I would like it if my planes that I spent a lot of money for in 2020 could be brought over without problems to 2024. And I would think they should have made that a priority. Because it's kind of disheartening to think how much money I spent in 2020 airplanes, and I may or may not be able to have fun with them in 2024. Like, for example, my favorite one, the Flying Pink school bus, the Short Brothers Ska Van SD7. Can't fly it in 2024. Now, hopefully, they're basically making it up to the plane developers to fix them. But as I said, like the Caproni that we just flew, it said, oh, well, we fixed it for 2024, and they have not fixed it for 2024. I don't know if they've tried it. All right, there's a castle here. There's something else over there, and then we're going to go up in the hills up there and see what's up there. The other thing I was looking at on YouTube is there was like a show like the most amazing 10 or like 20 castles in the world. Because I was like, oh, I wonder how many we visited in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And there's not a lot of overlap. For some reason, the castles in the game are not necessarily the biggest, most famous castles. I think I know why, it might be copyright reasons or something like that. But there sure are plenty of them. And as usual, we're going to jump out of the plane in our magical parachutes and take a peek at this one. Beautiful. If I say that one more time, you can hire a lawyer and file suit. This is gorgeous. See, I didn't say the same thing. I said something different. All right. Is it one of those ruins castles or one of those castles that you can actually go to? Let's find out. This is not a ruins. Okay. Get into our magical parachutes. Take a look around. Wow, it's stunning. Beautiful time of the day. Lots of nice shadows. And here's your castle. Okay, look, you got a wall. You know what? I wonder if we've been here before. No, I don't think we have. Let's see if we can go through. Hello? Well, we can't. That's fine. Oh, and there's some tables. There's a cafe. And look, it'd be a cool setting to have a meal though. If you think, look at that, And then you got your flags of where we are. I don't know necessarily. Gorgeous. Trees are kind of messed up. I don't care. All right, where's our aeroplano? All right, we got a couple other things to see, and then I'm going to do some holiday music. Castle San Michel. So that's another castle. Actually, I think this one might be one of the more famous ones. So there's this castle back here on the hill there, and this castle here, and then we're going to see what's up there. I think there's a hillside. Overlook. Very common in Europe to have a resort on the top of a mountain that is very hard to get to. Offers stunning vistas, and I think they're like spas. They're mainly like health, for your health. It's not really a vacation as much as a place to go to restore your health. Eat only healthy food, no whatever drinking. Some of them are, a lot of them I think are like no alcohol. Some of them are, but some of them aren't. All right, Castel, which is a castle, I'm pretty sure. San Michel. There's 80 billion castles for San Michel, by the way. St. Michael's. St. Michael, I think, was the patron saint of buildings or something like that. Or I don't know, but it seems like there's more castles named after St. Michael than any other. So I'm kind of thinking maybe he was the saint of architects or architecture, which you think is crazy. That's just crazy talk. Is this it? Yeah, this is it down here. So this is San Michel, Castel San Michel. It's all right. It's about the same. I would say the other one's a little nicer, but I don't know about the quality of the food in this one. You know what I mean? All right, back in the plane. Where's the plane? All right, use your magical parachutes. Doesn't matter. All right, let's see if we can get. We're gonna go around here and go up the back of this little thing up here. So for that, we're going to give us a full power. Get us a little climby action here. What's our fuel load? We started with, every plane pretty much starts with 50% fuel load, which is fine. Again, you can adjust it after the fact, except in 2024 you can't. Some planes you can. Some planes you have a working fuel dump system. Even some small ones, but many don't. We want to head up there, so we got to get some altitude. So if you have too much fuel on board, I mean, I get it, it's realistic. If you have too much fuel on board in a realistic scenario, you just have to circle if it's not an emergency and use up fuel. It's only really in an emergency that they want you to actually dump fuel. It's bad for the environment. We're heading up there. We're gonna go up the back of this mountain here. And then, yeah, this plane, that's about your maximum climb rate, about 1,000 feet per minute there, so. We're going to have to head up to, it looks like about 6,000 feet to get up behind this hill. It's there. The reason why you might miss points of interest is that little marker hides behind hills, so you either have to be, have a line of sight to it or have the right amount of altitude to see over a hill. Yeah, there they are. So Coronas, I don't know what the other one is. The other one is Brass Sendimost, which I think is an antenna. But we'll figure it out. Just gorgeous. Looks like there's a little house down there. Gorgeous terrain. Good alpine skiing there. A little village down that way we haven't been over. I think we'll be able to get the altitude. We have to make another circle around here. That's pretty high up. That's right. We're at 6,100 feet. An airplane like this, you really wouldn't want to get over about 8,500 feet. And you can see we're already starting to push angle of attack to where we can't really get a lot of lift at this thin air. 500 feet per minute is pretty much our limit. Well, I'll try to get as close as we can, and then we'll use our magical parachutes to get the rest of the way. I might be able to get over it. We are below the level of it at this point, so unless we can climb, and I'm at full power, so it's not like I got a little more power to go. But we'll see what's up here. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a ski lift or something. We're at 7,100 feet. I'm not telling you this is high up, but it's pretty high up. Ah, yes, we've been higher. All right, that is kind of interesting looking right here. And here is kind of interesting. Let's have a look at what we got up here. All right, everyone bail out. Where is our... There. So this is whatever this is. Yeah, so from the architecture of these... Oh, no, I guess this is like a... I think this is like a... Yeah, you can rent this. Like, it's like an expensive rental. And this, your view is crazy. And I think it is kind of built into an ice hill or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But it looks like it's pretty big. That's the entrance there, and kind of modern looking. That's interesting. Okay. And then over here, up here, is the tower that is the namesake of this point of interest. Yeah, so you're not in the middle of nowhere. There's other people kind of living up here. And it looks like maybe that's a resort or something like that. Some of these might be kind of like, as I mentioned, they like to, Europe, you see a lot of these resorts at the very top of a hill. Very isolated. And that is a lot of transmissions. Cool tower. Very detailed. We like it. Very detailed. Beautiful. Nice. And that's your view from the top of the tower if you want to sit down on it. All right, where's our aeroplano? It's this way. It's up, right? No, it's over here. That's the thing. You can always see your aeroplano. That is a really cool little trip. All right, we're gonna land, and then I'm gonna do my little holiday music cheer stuff. All right, everyone, back in the plane. Back in the plane. Back in the plane. Back in the plane. Thank you. All right. So, oh yeah, okay, here's this tower. Try not to smash into it too hard. And it's all downhill from here, so reduce the airport. Reduce your power or we're going to overspeed. Alright, that's the nearest airport is what we took off from. So yeah, that's where we're landing. It's that little veil back there too. But now that I've taken off from it, I believe I can land on it. There's another airport there. It's a little further away. What is that airport? And this is another thing they make really hard to do on 2024. Although 2024 doesn't have these long pauses that 2020 does. I don't mind. I mean, it's not going to crash. It just, it's just catching up here. Okay, so there's this. That's 28 degree grass. And this is like 28. They're the same. All right, let's land it closer. And in order to land on this, I believe we have to, there's kind of a ridge right in front of it. I believe we have to basically graze that ridge. We'll find out. Because, yeah. But it was a fun little jaunt. I mean, gorgeous, stunning terrain. I say that a lot. But, and the way these shadows are moving over the hills, these dramatic shadows. Beautiful day for this kind of thing. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is humming along. Humming along. Yeah, I think it's kind of like, basically we're going to cross over this ridge and then kind of go zoom down onto the runway. That should be interesting. And it's a snow-covered runway. Our plane is fine. Let's see, we got flaps. We're going to have to put our gear in down. No, our gear's already down. Always down. But again, this is a great challenge. I've never taken off or landed from here before. Yeah, maybe it's this way a little bit. I don't know. Let's get some flaps going here. Yeah, it might be like this direction. In any case, yeah, okay, now I see it. I mean, I see the orientation of this runway here. But yeah, we should be real close to this this little thing right there. If we're gonna do this right, we're gonna almost hit this ridge here. But yeah, now it becomes quite clear. Although it's in shadow, and because I took off from before, I kind of know what we're up for here. All right, reduce power even more and come to full flaps. There's full flaps for you. 42-degree flaps. And we just want to make sure we're not underspeeding, but I don't think that's an issue because we're not going to stall till about 80. Well, we are 4,000 feet up, so stall speed is higher than normal. Always looks like you're high up there, and then when you come here, or low there, and then you come here, you're like, you're way too high. We just want to brush these trees here. Use throttle to nothing, and it's a runway. It's not like any lights on it or anything like that. It's plenty long. But yeah, you gotta, I think we rolled too high up there. Hopefully we can brake a little bit here. Now we're into these trees. I don't know what this is here. We're fine. A little deep snow. This is pretty though. We're gonna stop here. Because I like the color scheme of the green airplane and the white and green background with the lights. Well, we can't really get the lights in the screenshot as much. Too close. Maybe like that direction. Beautiful-ish. Yeah, actually, that's better, I think. Around there. I might take another one. Hold on. The outside of the plane. Me and my stupid screenshots. Okay, there's that one. We can get out the plane here. This way we can have a little more flexibility about the positioning. It doesn't say Kench 909 in the shot. I'm really not that interested. Yeah, maybe that's kind of dramatic. All right, that was fun. So, second half of the show, as always, is a live musical performance from yours truly. It's going to take me a couple minutes to get my keyboard set up because I got to drag it in right here. I do that every other time. Seems to be fine. I'll be playing for about almost an hour, probably. Just these songs from my fake book there. And then, we'll do it all again next time. Probably tomorrow. Let me quit out of Microsoft Flight Simulator here. And then I like to change to the music category so people might know that I'm in the music category. They'll be streaming the musics. There we go. Quit to desktop there. And should be back after the mid-roll. premature hitting of some buttons there. All right, we get this here. Going that there. There, something like that. Get my pedals set up, still setting things up. We're going to go into the Christmas music. That wasn't it. The Christmas music is via the Ultimate Christmas Fake Book. I recommend you buy it. You know what I mean? If you can do it. Basically, so what happens is, this is, you get this. That's all you need. There's no page turning. It's a highly compressed format there. The melody and the chords. You're going to have to get a very high familiarity with your chords. F, B flat, G, C. But then how do you put it together with the melody? Anyway, my point is, that's why I'm practicing these things. It takes a little while to get the whole thing together. Excuse me. And while I'm doing this, I do mute my mic. I don't really need it. I'm not going to be singing. I'm going to be talking. I'm just going to be playing. So enjoy, and thanks for coming by. just pushing buttons at random. You didn't hear me say that. That's fine. Hello. Yeah, that's my cat. He's just pushing. He's going nuts on the keyboard there. Donnie, thanks for coming by. Good to see you. I'm doing good. Just doing my little old Christmas themed edition of the old piano songs. So I'm almost done. Got another 5 or 10 songs. Yeah, these are the practice sessions because the real performance obviously isn't until the 25th. So come by then. And thanks for dropping in. What is this? E diminished. No, that's not it. I'll work on this one. One more time. Starting to get it. Do. Mic on. Suppose I'm trying to keep my mic muted when I'm actually playing things, just for background noise. I'm not singing or anything. Page turning sounds. Hello. Yeah, to answer your question, I did play guitar yesterday. So last night for you, yesterday, but yeah, I alternate. So yep. I'm hi. Hey, thanks for chatting. Good to see you. I'm just doing my December time holiday music here, so it's almost done though. I got a few bucks. Is that a song, Fairy Tale of New York? It doesn't sound familiar to me, so I'm going to say with no. Interesting. I don't. Is it a Christmas song? Because there's a million songs I've never heard of. Yeah, Fairy Tale of New York is in here. 58. Fairy Tale of New York. 1987. This is a relatively recent song. Okay. Mountain Dew. I'd have to hear it. Oh, it's a Poe song. I'd have to listen to it. I will listen to it and try to get it in. I'm gonna make a little note here. I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna make a little check mark here to learn. I love the Poes, and it is in my book here. I mean, I just need to know the song. I don't think I've heard it. So I'll get to that next time. But thank you for the suggestion and the fact that if it's a Christmas song, it's probably in this book. Again, 270 songs, and I only know about 30. So yeah. All right, that wraps up all my songs and thing. I will learn this new song very shortly. I certainly probably the next musical performance of holiday music might not be till Friday, next Friday. So already kind of, well, it's Sunday. The reason being that tomorrow's stream will be guitar stream. I think Wednesday probably no stream, maybe a stream on Wednesday, and then Friday will be another stream in which there will be piano music. So that's a holiday stream. After December 25th, I go back to my regular jazzy, whatever it is. My jazzy piano lounge set. I like to call it. So that's what's going to happen. Let's see. All right. So the next thing that's going to happen is tomorrow. More streaming. Yay! I had such a good time today that I'm going to stream tomorrow. I say it literally every single time. But I know I do have a good time streaming. I still got some Diet Coke left. Thank you for coming by, Donnie. Thank you for suggesting a Christmas era song. And hey, if it's in my Christmas book and you think I'm sure I can learn it because I can always listen on YouTube and find the song. And I'm always trying to learn some new songs. In the new year, I'm gonna have to learn deep into the REM catalog and try to learn some different REM songs on the guitar too. Diet Coke, yes. So let's see. Anybody on that I'm gonna raid? No. I'm just gonna say bye. Thanks a lot again. It was beautiful, right? My streams are always around 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. You might have to do some translation to your local time zone to figure out when I stream next. But I like to keep it very consistent. That way you don't have to guess. Mondays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and some Wednesdays. Sometimes on Wednesday, depending on my workload. And obviously, for Christmas and New Year's, Wednesdays is a streaming day for me. Let me put it that way. So I actually will be streaming on Wednesdays, just not maybe this Wednesday, because this is the week before the holiday. Got a lot to say. That was fun, and thank you again. We'll see you next time.